Hey everybody, hope you're all having a great day so far. You having a great 4th of July if you're American. Well, I guess I hope you have a great 4th of July regardless, but a great Independence Day if you're American. Yeah, and the lighting is going to be a bit weird today because it's raining really hard outside, so I'm having to rely on the lights in my room, which unfortunately aren't the best for streaming, but I think it'll be okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, this will be a bit of a shorter stream just because I had some stuff to do this morning just because it was the 4th, but I figured since it's a holiday, I won't try to rush quite as much. Oh hey Javasaurus, thanks for stopping by. How are you doing today? Alright, so we were starting on doing the actual connecting because we had finished the input handling, so I need to actually create our join to a server. Yeah, so right now when we press this button nothing happens, so I need to switch to the connecting phase and then actually try to connect to a server. We might have to bring back a second client to actually test this. It's been a while since we've done that. Doing okay, trying to relax. Close PhD defense. Oh, wow, interesting. Have you catch a stream now? Yeah, I'm glad you could be here too. I hope. Yeah, I'm glad that I can help you relax as well. Yeah, well, good luck on your PhD defense. That definitely does sound stressful. Alright, let me see. Okay, so I saw that the event was fired, but does the input manager actually handle that event yet? Let me see. Oh yeah, so it has the connect command. Yeah, and then it checks if everything's valid. If it's not valid, we'd probably want to print out some kind of error. Or actually no, because well, we gray out the connect button if everything is not valid, so there's not really a point. Inching closer, about 14 hours left. I'm sure it'll go fine. But yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking, I bet. What am I using for my multiplayer backend? It's just Unity's networking, but I'm not using like their default, well, how do I put it? They have like multiple layers to their networking. And I'm not using what's called the high level API because I found that it wasn't really suited for this turn-based style of game. So I actually use what they call the transport layer, which basically is just sending messages back and forth, but I don't have to deal with sockets and things like that, if that sounds familiar. Not Photon? No, because it's not going to have matchmaking at this point. Find it really restrictive. Yeah, that's one reason why I decided not to use it. Not necessarily Photon, but yeah, Unity's high-level API. Let me see. Oh, I forgot to commit yesterday, but it's fine. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I need to go to the flow manager and okay, this is what I need to add. So on input complete. Oh, right. There's the back command and the connect command. We won't worry about the back for now. So on ready to connect. I'll call it that. I haven't done game dev since last Ludum Dare. I'll focus on my thesis. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Ludum Dare is really fun. I was planning to stream it, but something came up, unfortunately. Maybe I'll get to do it this next time. It's in August, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully. Okay, so we just will advance to connecting. Okay, I was trying to decide if this flow manager will actually start the connection process. Probably not. Yeah, it is in August. Okay. Yeah, I was looking forward to the one in April because I also really liked the theme, but oh, this is wrong name. Flow Logic Container is just the class that interfaces with the event system I'm using, so I want to be sure to inherit from that. And for this, we'll need the flow logic. Oh wait, the flow state and the input state, so we can get the current port and everything and address. Okay, so let's just generate a constructor. And I'll also need the event queue to pass up to my parent. Okay, now it's not liking this because event is a keyword, so I have to be sure to type that as events. And here we'll just subscribe to the phase change event. Phase change. Go ahead and create this method. Really need to plan it in advance. I feel I did it impulsively in April, but there's just not enough time then. Yeah, and the compo. Yeah, I wish that they would change around the times because the only one that I can really make consistently is the August one. The April one is always right next to a couple birthdays in my family, and then the December one is usually when we're doing Christmas stuff. So I don't know, I kind of wish that they would switch around the months every year, but... Okay, so here we want to check if the phase is equal to connecting. Then we'll want to start connecting here, which I guess is where the fun will be. Okay, so we'll initialize this new class just because I always forget to do that. Alright, so now I need to remember how I would detect if a connection fails or anything. Let's see. Might look for a team in August. It'll depend on tomorrow. If I pass a public defense in August. Oh, really? That's bad luck. But yeah, I've never actually done a Ludum Dare with a team, but I think it would be fun. I just always take it as a chance to prototype some idea that I've been having. Okay, so here, this is like some old thing. And then it's checking if the connection is connected. Okay, so I already have this connection state, so I just need to listen to whenever this changes, and that way we can see if there's been an error, I think. So that means we'll also need the local connection. Let's move that to a new line just to clean this up. Okay, that's right. So how I did it here was, okay, this is checking to see if it's connected, then we switch to the new scene. And then here I'm actually connecting. I guess I called that up here, but I deleted that line already. This is kind of funny. I just set the values in here, and then I call this Unity link, and I guess it sets the port and password. I should see where that's set, because I'm not sure. Okay, so private void start connection. Okay, so this would be the input state password. And I think, oops, I did that wrong. Does it already know if it's null? Really? Nothing uses it? Oh, here. Okay, so this is a class that sends the validation request. Oh, thanks, Wonderful, for the host. How are you doing today? Okay, yeah, so here, yeah, we get the password, and then this is where we're sending a validation request to the server to see if it will accept our password. And that's the only time that we use that. But, I see when I call this, I also pass the password. What's it complaining about here? Unity link. Okay, well, I was trying to get the namespace. A little tired, but still knocked a few things out. Yeah, I know that feeling. But good that you could get some work done. Okay, so is host. That would just depend on what kind of mode we're in. Should I even set this here? It seems kind of weird. Okay, I'll just leave it, but I don't know, this seems like something that should be set by the game, depending on if we've started a server or a client. In fact, well, we'll see. It just seems kind of weird to me that I set some values here, but then I send some to this Unity link. What am I trying to do? So this would be if the flow state mode is create, then we're in host mode. And then I guess we do the same thing there. Yeah, and I don't need to validate these values because they've already been tested, so I can just pass them. Okay, now it's letting me do it. I guess there was just too many errors before. So when I start a server, okay, so this is passing the network port to Unity, I think. Oops. Yeah, so that's not my value. That's, yeah, because this class is actually inheriting from the network manager, which is Unity's hook into the networking system. Okay, but yeah, this is just so we don't get duplicate messages. Then we call it start host. Okay, and so yeah, I had to do something a little hacky here to see if the server started successfully. If the client, so after we call start host, if the client is null, then the host was not able to be created, and that could happen if, well, there's some network error or the port that we're trying to use is already in use. Okay. Then if that's happens and we call server oh yeah, so this is if it's not null, that means it did start. And so then we call the server start callback. What's it complaining about? Relevant invocation can be simplified. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh right, I keep forgetting in the new version of Unity they have these I forget what they call the specific one, but I think null coalescing operator. But basically if this is null, then it won't call this method. So yeah, I really like them, but I've had to not use them before because Unity used to not support it. But yeah, this is actually does clean up that code a lot. Okay, and then we just set the password on the server. Let me see. Okay, and so this is on the server side code. So we set the password. Yeah, there might be a cleaner way to do that, but I'm trying to keep the server as separate, or the server code as separate from the client code as possible, so this class is pretty much the only place where they collide. Okay, does this set anything from... Okay, it doesn't have a local connection at all. Okay, so just checking, I'm just seeing like where this is set. Yeah, so we actually set the username after valid. Oh no, that's just using it. So I'm just, why do I not? Oh, I see. So this doesn't even have the address. So how would I reconnect? I guess this Unity link stores that information. Oh yeah, because I have the restart client, and so it just uses the values that were already in there. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so I guess we'll leave this. All right, so we'd start connection here. And immediately, if it fails, what happens? So it just returns false if it fails, so it doesn't even have like a callback. So probably... Okay, so if it does fail, then we would want to... Actually, wait. So if it fails to start a server, we would just print an error and then go back to the input phase because I need to change the port, probably. But if it fails to start a client, then we would want to wait a second or two and then try to reconnect until the user cancels. So actually, yeah, this is a little different depending on if we're the host or not. Yeah, so I guess we should leave this somewhere else. Okay, so yeah, if host, then we'll start server. I guess we'll start client here, and then if it fails, then we would try to reconnect at some point. Is it? Let me look. Because usually if we disconnect, we would just exit all the way back to the title screen. But I'm trying to... In the play scene, we would actually try to reconnect, so I need to remember how I did it there. Okay, so I would just call restart client. Okay, I'm trying to remember how it works. Let me see. So I think what happens is this connection state. Leave this around. We'll be stuck in the seeking state, which means that a client's been connected or created, but it's not connected to anything yet. And so it will stay here, and then if it fails to connect after a certain timeout, the client would stop, and then this would be set to none. Or if it does connect, it has to go through these phases. So what I need to do is, while in the seeking phase, actually no, I don't do anything. I just wait until the connection fails, and then when that happens, I wait a second or so and then reconnect. So I guess I'll need to have a connection state here. Oh, I shouldn't call it that. So I guess that makes, let's call it join state. So start at none, and then we'll have connecting, and then waiting, and then we'll just keep switching between those two until the user cancels. Okay, but anyway, here, if start server fails, we would just immediately go back. So we'll throw some event here. Failed to connect. Or I guess let's just call it back to input. Or canceled. And class success. And if we do succeed in connecting, then we would transition to the lobby scene. Anyway, if this is true, then we would queue the success event. Otherwise, we'll queue a canceled event. And we'll also want to queue some type of error. Alright, so let's go ahead and just add this connection error. So none, and I guess just server fail or start. And well, I guess I should call it host start to be specific. And then I guess just really client timeout and client validation, or I guess client reject. And this would happen if we had the wrong password. Or yeah, it could be for any number of reasons really, but what happens if we are rejected? Because I kind of like to be able to have a different... Okay, I see. So if we're refused, then it doesn't try to reconnect immediately. Yeah, because if we're refused, there's no reason to ask again because the server would just keep on saying no. Where was I? Oh, yeah, this is right. So then the connection error, we'll want to just have an event for this class. Oh no, let's not. We'll just put this in the flow state, I think. That doesn't need to be public now that I think about it. Okay, let's just delete that class or this file. Alright, so anyway, so at canceled I would just set the flow state error to host start fail. And I guess when we succeed, we would want to set this to nothing. Oh, we'd want to set this to nothing when we enter this phase. Okay, so start client. Actually, now that I think about it, this client timeout would only happen. Well, I guess if we like try to reconnect like 2 or 3 times, we would just stop and then print this error. Alright, so now I need to subscribe to the connection change event. Oops. So, we'd only want to react to this if we're in the join state, so now that I think about it, when we start the server, I wonder if we should test this before I go any further, actually. Yeah, because if we start the server, I don't know if I should exit this right away or if I should wait a couple frames until Unity actually says we're connected. I wonder if it connects immediately or not. Okay, so debug log. I think we can figure this out by just printing out the connection state here and then right here. And if it's connected at this point, then we're fine queuing this event. But if not, we'll need to like wait 1 frame, probably. I think I already created this. Oh yeah, initialize the connection manager. So it's done compiling. Still thinking. Okay, there it goes. So we want to create a game. You can just use these values, that's fine. Yeah, actually this host will probably not work, but okay, so let's see what happened. Maybe it did connect. That's the validation. Password was nothing, username, test username. Server start event, okay. Okay, so it was none both of these times, so yeah, I should wait a frame, or at least until... Yeah, I need to wait until the game acknowledges the connection state as being connected, which will take a little bit. So that's pretty simple. I just won't queue this right now. Alright, so if this is false, then, but yeah, if this is false, we already know there's been an error, so we can just exit out. Okay, so, if flow state is connecting, and then if, I guess we'd switch the connection state now. Yeah, so if we're connected, if we're, doesn't matter what mode we're in, if we're in join or create, at this point we would just queue a new success event. If, so if we switch to none, if it starts as none, then we want to try to reconnect, but let's worry about that later. Okay, so yeah, connection manager success fired at that frame. Oh yeah, so the my connection state changed, switched from validating to connected, and then the connection manager saw that and then fired its success event. That's how I want it to work. Okay, so yeah, pretty much we're all done with the create mode now. So I have this. I don't know if I need this actually. Well, yeah, I do. So connecting. Well, let's see. So if we switch to none, then we'd want to start a timer. Okay, let's actually just make another class for this. So, reconnect timer, and we will have wait timer and retry. I guess let's call num retries. And I don't really know. Okay, let's just put these constants in here. So public const float max retries. We should probably move, like I've had to use these constants and just random classes. Should probably move them out into some setting file, but I don't really have support for that yet. And then I guess let's call it reconnect wait period. Oh yeah, this should actually be an integer. Okay, so here we'd also want to set the reconnect number of retries to 0. Okay, so when this is none, then we'd want to retry one more time. And if this is greater than or equal to the max retries, then we would set forgot the actual value there. I guess first we would queue the cancel event. And I want to set an error, so state connection error equals client timeout. Otherwise, we'd want to restart the timer, so reconnect dot wait timer is 0. Okay, I think that's fine. And then the other thing that can happen is if we set this to refused, then we would just want to queue the canceled event, because there's no point in retrying because our passwords don't match, or there's some username mismatch. And we'd set this to client reject. Okay, so the only other thing I need to do is the timer. So if flow state mode is join, and we're in the phase, so flow state mode, our phase is connect, and the connection state is none. Then I want to increase the wait timer. And then if the wait timer has gone above the period, then I want to try to restart the client. I wonder, well, probably by the time this gets back to us, the connection state would have changed from none to seeking. But I wonder if I should have another Boolean in here that's saying try to reconnect instead of relying on this connection state. Probably safer, because we don't have control over the connection state, so using it as a variable to control this is probably not the best idea. So we'd want to set it here, reconnect dot is true, and I guess so this doesn't hang around if it's not needed. If we're out of state, then we'll just want to set that to false. Okay, so now here I need to add that new class. And I had a timer in the flow state, which I'm not going to use, so I can get rid of that. And yeah, I also didn't use this join state. So I wonder if I make sure that we're in the join mode. Oh. Because yeah, we can't reconnect if we're in host mode. And I guess if something like this happened in host mode, which it never should, we should handle it in a different way. And then the last thing I need to do is wait or listen for a cancel command from the interface. And in this case, we would just stop trying to join the server. What's it complaining about the here cannot fall out. Oh, the break needs to go outside the if statement. So first I should check if we're in the right phase. So phase equals connecting. And then if we're in... Well, this shouldn't ever... Should we just disallow it if it's in create phase? Because create phase it should like almost immediately connect. I don't know, I don't think so. Because what if there's some bug and it hangs? You wouldn't want to be stuck in this menu. So if that's true, then Unity link stop or stop server. This probably be, I should probably rename this to force stop host, but because when I call, because it also stops the local client. If I can find the curly brace, there we go. So force stop client, and either one of these should call the mode to switch to none, but that would happen next frame, I think. And so this should just be canceled. Oops, that's not how you spell canceled at all. Alright, so now this should be all up and running. The only thing I need to do is update the status text to actually display those errors, and I want to animate the ellipses to kind of show that the game's not frozen. But let's just see what happens. So if I go to create, yeah, it'll just, this is success, and if I cancel, oh well, nothing listens to the stop command. Yeah, so the flow controller needs to do that. I also don't listen to the input manager cancel command either. I guess I might as well add this in. Okay, and then we'll listen to whenever the connect manager is successful. So on connected, and oops, can I spell it? And then the fail or canceled. I just want to move them down here to keep things roughly in order. So I'll just leave this not implemented exception because I don't handle it yet. Actually, all this would really do would be to check the phase and then send an event up to the phase container, or yeah, the setup lobby controller, and then it would switch to another phase of the game. So I guess 2. So yeah, we'll have a 2 lobby event. Oops, I didn't want to do that either. And to title. So I guess we'll want to advance to exit here just to stop all the managers from running, and then we'll want to queue the new 2 title event. It's going to be kind of the same for all this. Later on we might have like a fade out phase or something, but I'm not going to worry about trying to make everything too pretty yet. This will be 2 lobby. Oops, my controller's frozen. I've noticed that's happened since Visual Studio updated a couple weeks ago. Sometimes the cursor will be frozen on a different key or a different mode, which is kind of weird, but just a display bug, I guess. Into title. Alright, so let's try that. We still won't go to the lobby scene because it doesn't exist, but we should at least see the event that we're ready to go to the lobby. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so the setup lobby 2 lobby event was fired, which is what we expected, and then everything goes gray because it should switch to the lobby scene now, but okay, let's try to join and see what happens. Obviously we can't join because there's not going to be a server, but so right now it's in seeking, and I guess I'll just wait until it times out. So now it disconnected and we switched to none, and so we tried to reconnect a while later. Yeah, there's quite a bit of... Oh, because we wait a second until we try to reconnect. I forgot about that. Then it happened again, and so it should go one more time because it's going to try 3 times, and then it will just give up and print an error. Oh, except, yeah, we accidentally said to go back to the title, which is not what I want to do. Let me... So on connect cancel, this should actually just switch back to the input phase. Not go to the title, but everything else worked. Let's try the cancel button now. Actually, before I go on, it'd be nice, there's a little UI you can set up in Unity so that it will show you the current state of the network. I really should add that. Oh, I have it already. Why wasn't it visible? I don't see it in the scene. Maybe I do something wrong. Do I not instantiate it? That's kind of funny. I'm surprised it still works. Oh yeah, I just load it, but then I don't instantiate it. Okay, that's kind of bad of me. Instantiate. Okay, so yeah, we'll instantiate. Let's be a little cleaner here. So this is not the instance. We should want to get the prefab. Pre-gab. And then we will call instantiate the game object. I'm really surprised that that worked from the prefab and I didn't have to instantiate it, but that's why the interface wasn't showing up. But yeah, so now we can see it. So if I join a game and then try to connect, yeah, so now it says I'm connecting to localhost port 100, which is what's in here. And if I cancel, then yeah, it did successfully cancel. I guess I'll just go through one timeout. You don't have to test all three yet because I already know that works. Just to kind of watch what's happening up here. Yeah, so it stops and then we can see for a bit it switched to unconnected mode and then after a second the game tried to reconnect. So that looks good. Okay, so what do... Oh yeah, we need to update that status text. Probably the most important thing is that it prints out an error. So if we're in the connecting phase, that's fine. If we're in the input phase, we'd want to switch between the flow state connection error. If it's, well, I guess for all of these we'll have canceled, reject, timeout, and start host fail. And that one we can't really test right now. We have to wait until I build a second client, which maybe we can do today. I don't know if we'll get to it. And then I guess we have the default, which would just be no text. And yeah, I'm not going to worry about localization yet. That's why I'm just setting these strings hard-coded. That's just because all of this stuff is just temporary. All of the interface classes anyway. So this will be attempt canceled. Server rejected. Wrong password or duplicate username. Cannot connect to server. And that happens like if you have no internet connection. And then failed to start server. Check if port already in use. Yeah, so this really only happens if there's someone else on your machine trying to use the same port. But I still have to account for it. Alright, and then on this connecting I want to animate this ellipse, but let's go ahead and do it now. So we'll just have a timer here, and when we... Okay, so I need to change this a bit. Void on phase change. And yeah, whenever we change phases, we just reset the timer. And then refresh text. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see. Not sure if this will work. Can you do that? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so let's just get let's have another function just to get the ellipse. So yeah, I guess number is, it'll be timer divided by just whatever we want. How about we add a dot every second? Oh, okay, well then I don't have to divide it by anything, so we'll just turn it into an integer. And then we'll want to do mod 3 so that we don't ever go higher than 3. It's probably a better way to do this, but I don't want to deal with a string builder. Because yeah, we could do like a string builder and then do for int I equals 0, I less the number, I plus plus, and then just append a dot for every running of that loop. But I don't know. This is fine, really. Although I guess instead of a case 2, I should just do default here. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to do tick. Okay, so I could just call refresh text every frame, but that's kind of not a great idea. Okay, so we'll definitely want to have a better system for this, but again, this is all just temporary, so I don't mind doing something kind of messy. Oh, I also should check to make sure that we're actually in the connecting state. Okay, and probably, I guess I should set num dots to 0 here as well. Alright, so that's just a very quick animated text just to show that we're trying to connect. Hopefully it works. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't mind. So yeah, disconnected and it's trying again. I guess I'll let it run this time because I want to see if this error is printed. Alright, so that was the second attempt. Okay, so there's... Well, first of all, we got an error. Oh, that's just the error from the timeout. But also, I guess the text isn't long enough to display this whole thing. Okay, so let's just set the text, I don't know, 1,000. That's too big, isn't it? Well, I guess I'd like it to wrap. So I think if I wanted this to wrap, I would set this to 0 and then this to 1. Although, okay, I want it to stretch. Okay, so the size is not setting up right, so I need to set it to content size fitter, and this works because we're not under a horizontal or vertical. Okay, so now it can stretch. Or a vertical layout controller is what I was trying to say. So I just create and then, oh yeah, so I was in create mode, so it pretty much immediately switched. Let me see, so I guess we'll switch back to the title and then go in join mode, and then we'll just check the cancel button error. Yeah, so attempt canceled. Okay, so I guess the other ways to test this, I need to actually bring up a second client. Well, maybe we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just make like a dummy lobby scene, so we can deal with that. I guess I'll duplicate this setup lobby since I already have some stuff set up. Alright, and so now I'm in lobby. So we'll still want most of the stuff. I should change this to lobby, which we won't support yet anyway, but just so I can set the value here. Okay. Okay, now it's done. And then I won't want this setup lobby inspector anymore. Oh, actually, I could have deleted this in the setup lobby scene. Maybe I will do that. I also don't need a light, do I? Yeah, so I should delete those because this is all just interface. Okay, so what I want to do, we'll leave most of this, but I guess I can just delete this button area and the status text. And we remove that. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Now we know we're in the lobby. Okay. Delete those while I'm here. And I need to add the lobby to the scenes so we can refer to it by name. Okay, and then setup lobby controller, we'll just need to listen to the 2 events from the flow manager to know if it should switch to the next scene or not. So how did I do that in a title? Because I think I had a cleaner way. Oh yeah. It's not quite as clean as the normal containers, but flow manager to lobby and then to title. Okay, and I think I can get rid of these. Alright, so what I would do is just call game of phase container equals new lobby dot lobby controller. And then here I would call the same thing except phase container equals new title. And also this lobby controller has a bunch of junk in it. I'm just gonna comment this whole thing out. Because we actually have some logic in here I'll need to know for later. Had to add it all the way at the bottom. And I think it needs a constructor, doesn't it? Oops, I didn't want to rename. And then I guess I'll just print something here. So Unity engine debug log lobby setup. Okay, let's just call it lobby entered. I'll just get rid of those. Okay, so let's test it to make sure it works here before I build a second client, because that does take a while. So, and it's been a while since we've done it, so we might run into some weird bugs. Okay, so the lobby entered but didn't load the scene. I want to do that just for visual. So I guess we'll just do scene. Yeah, and I was thinking that we'll probably want to add the code from the setup lobby controller that dealt with loading the Unity scene and the UI into a parent class, but I'll wait to do that. Okay, so now it's switched to lobby. And we're still connected. I guess I should check the back button. I haven't done that yet. So it switched to title, but button click listener. Oh, okay, so the title screen is not set up to load. I guess we better fix that. So, yeah, we probably won't get to creating a second client just yet. Okay, so really I need the title scene I need to update to use this new interface thing. So basically I want to move all of this stuff out into another class. I could do another subclass, but I don't know. When you start messing around with inheritance, things get messy quick because some things I want to parent from the phase controller, but some things I wouldn't. Well, let me see. Yeah, because not every phase controller has a scene that it's associated with. So yeah, it's probably a better idea not to do that. Let's make I think I'll just make a helper class here, so this will be scene load helper. Let's close all of this. Let's see, this I want to move into it. Let's do that so it will stop bothering me. And then I want to instantiate this. So basically I want to yeah, add these objects to the onload callback. And then I want to just be able to call dispose on the scene load helper, and then it will deal with this. I won't need any of this stuff. I guess I should just delete the code I don't need so I don't confuse myself. Don't need that, and I don't need this. Okay, and then I'll just need one other function here to load the scene. Okay, so I guess the constructor should take a string. Oops, I don't know why I did type string twice. And this would be the scene name. Oop, somebody's doing fireworks in the rain. This doesn't seem like it would work that well. So this won't. Okay, well, I don't really need this anyway. And this tick, maybe I don't need that actually because, yeah, I forgot I'm using Unity's event system and not mine. Okay, so what I want to do here, yeah, I'll need to have a reference to it. So private scene load helper. Okay, so this dot scene helper equals new, and the scene lane is just, our scene name is setup lobby. Okay, and then down here I would just call scene helper load scene. And then I want to be able to add these scene setup classes. Public void something like that, and then I think this is still okay. Adding it to a list like that. Yeah, so that gets rid of all that code, I think. The scene helper loads the scene when it's called. Oh, I didn't call dispose on it though. I didn't want to load back into Unity just yet. Right now it's hanging it because it has to load or recompile everything. Alright, so yeah, we set the scene load callback here. I guess I really could just well no, we don't want to. So what would happen, yeah, if I called this twice, then that would be a problem, but I guess I could just assume that it won't happen. But I guess if scene load callback is null, we'll do this. Otherwise, we've already tried to load the scene, so don't need to register and everything. Oh, that's private, so we can leave that like that. Okay, so I think this is all good. So the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to use that code for any of these controllers that have a Unity scene associated with them. And yeah, that's the lobby scene for sure. And also I need to update the title screen, or yeah, the title screen, so that it also uses this system. Because it was complaining just a second ago because this button listener was thinking that the game scene would be set up immediately. Also, I have this like old system, but I could really just use the game object registry. But I guess I'll leave it for now. So this is UI setup. Oh, I forgot the I at the beginning. Okay, and so I would just do this at UI setup instead of in the constructor. I think that's all I have to do. We load the title scene here, and then scene helper.add. Yeah, eventually the title screen will be a lot more complicated, so it'll be good to have this code ready to go. Dispose and scene helper dispose. Okay, so let's see. That should fix that problem. Not loaded yet. We already got one. Invalid scene name. Empty string. What did that happen? Title controller setup. But I did pass. The string. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I don't save it. That's silly of me. Scene name equals scene name. Right, and if I click exit, yeah, it does go back. Now we can create lobby, exit, connect, fail, exit. Okay, and then if we exit, we could also, theoretically, if we were in a standalone game, if we clicked exit, it would close the application, but all right. Well, I guess I'll stop it here because yeah, we're at a good stopping point. And next, I would want to test actually connecting to another client, and we haven't done that in a while, so I have a feeling we'll run into some more bugs because yeah, we'll have to build another standalone client and run them at the same time. And yeah, it's been a while. I think I haven't tested that really since I redid the event system, so there might even be some problems in the server code. But yeah, I was waiting until this specific moment because it'll be a lot easier to test now. So, but yeah, I guess we'll do that next stream, which I'm planning to stream tomorrow, but like I said, this week might be a little strange just because of the holiday and everything. I'm planning to, well, I don't know if I'll take off streaming, but I'm probably going to take off Friday, but we'll see. But anyway, should be live tomorrow at around noon Eastern. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch. I also post on Twitter, so either way you can get a notification. I have a YouTube channel where you can check out old videos of the game if you'd like to just see how it used to look or maybe catch up. And then I have a Discord server where you can chat with me anytime. We'd love to have you there. But yeah, I'll put links in chat, or you can check out the video description if you're watching from YouTube. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, again, thanks everybody, and I hope you have a great 4th of July. Bye-bye.